Hello, I'm Paloma from Book Lover Paloma, and today for my video, I'm going to be doing a book review on a book by Mary Lou, and that book is Champion, the third and final book in the Legend trilogy. If you haven't read the Legend trilogy, which is Legend, Prodigy, and this book Champion, I really think you should read it. They are really good books and a really amazing series. If you haven't read the first or second book, I don't think you should be watching this video because I'm going to be talking about the last book, this book, the last book. So you should read the first and second books, then watch my videos on those, and then read the third book and watch this video. So if you haven't read the books yet, I really recommend them. They're amazing books. And if you have read the first and second books, you can keep watching, and I'm going to be telling you what this book's about. And if you read all three books, then just watch this video. I don't know. Okay, so Champion. So this book, Champion, is the third and final book in the Legend series. This book takes place 8 months after Prodigy ends. So 8 months have passed since Prodigy and this book, which is a long time. Might not sound like a long time, but it is a long time. And 8 months have passed since Day broke up with June, and during those 8 months, Day moves to San Francisco with his brother. And people think he moved to San Francisco for treatment for his brother because his brother's blind, but actually he moved to San Francisco for treatment for himself because the brain thing he has, that's why, because he's dying. So he has to go to San Francisco for special medication, special treatment, but none of that seems working. And June is back in Denver. And in the other book, Prodigy, Andon asked her to be a princeps-elect, and she didn't want to choose to be one, didn't want to train, but they tells her to. So she's back in Denver, and she's trained to be a princeps-elect, and that's basically what happened during those 8 months. And then they haven't seen each other, talked to each other, have like no communication like at all. So when Day all of a sudden gets a call from June, he's really surprised. And June calls Day because he is asking him to go attend a meeting in Denver, even though Day never goes to this meeting. But she said it is of great importance and they need to discuss a problem involving Day in the country. And problem is the colonies have cut off the peace treaty. There was supposed to be a peace treaty, but the colonies cut it off, and now Andon and the whole republic needs Day's help and his brothers in order to cause peace, so there won't be like the huge old war again. So that's basically what this book is about. And of course, much more things happen, but I don't want to say them because I don't want to spoil them for you. And so that's basically it. And if you haven't read this book yet, I really think you should read it because it's a really good book. So now I'm going to be going on to the spoilery part where I talk about the things I like, things I didn't like, and those kind of stuff. So if you haven't read this book, turn this video off right now. Go buy this book and read it. Okay, so Champion by Mary Lou. Oh my gosh, this book killed me. I died. I know I say this like in every video that I died, but I die a lot. But I'm immortal. I'm an immortal god, so I get to live forever. No, I'm just kidding, I don't, but this book, oh my gosh, there were so many emotions I felt during this book. I wanted to slap and punch Day and June so many times in this book, because they were just bothering me like, oh my gosh. No, I couldn't deal with them at sometimes. Some parts in this book that really stood out with me were the moments between Eden and Day because they're brothers, and Eden is basically the only family Day has left. And Eden is like Day's life. Like Day's life revolves around Eden. Like it's saving Eden, protecting Eden, taking care of Eden, because that's how strong their brotherhood is. That's how close they are, and it's just really, really sweet. And then when Andon tells June to ask Day if Eden could be used to experiment on to find a cure for the plague that has like gone in the colonies, oh my gosh, I'm like, you cannot ask of that for him. No, you cannot ask that of him. And then when he's like, you have to do it, June, Day's biggest weakness, and then June realized I'm not his biggest weakness. Eden is, because Eden is Day's everything. And I really didn't like when Anden was trying to use June so they could just get Eden. But in the end, Eden he's like, I want to do this because Eden wants to be a part of this, and so he wanted to risk himself to save millions for the people, which I think is really brave for Eden, especially because he's an 11-year-old. And talking about the cure right now, because since I'm talking about it, I was so surprised when I found out that June had like the second part of the cure, because they didn't have all the part of the cure, because Eden only had like half of it, because I guess the colonies like mutated it themselves on purpose, which I think is really, really rude, and like that's just no. And so they mutated themselves, and Eden had like one half of it and June had the other half, and with both of them they managed to find the cure, and I was so happy. But I find it really cool how Mary Lou took something small that we all thought was irrelevant in the second book, Prodigy, but made it actually a big contribution to this last book. And every single one of these characters from the beginning, like, they all contributed to the cure in one way. They contributed to it by letting his brother be used for the testing. Then Eden, he was the one being tested, so he contributed to it too. Then June, she also was tested on, so she contributed to. And Tess, I thought Tess was gonna die because she had the plague, and she was the one they were testing the cure on, so she contributed to that too. But I seriously thought she was gonna die. And even though I said I didn't like her in the second book, I like her now. I like her now. By the end, I like her. I know my feelings for her were like I like her, I dislike her, but now I like her. So I'm so glad she didn't die though. So glad. I don't think I would have been able to live if she had died. And I was really, really sad because I didn't know if June and they were gonna get back together. But when they finally got back together in this book, when June finally told him that she loved him, oh my gosh, that was like the most romantic moment ever. Like, I love that chapter, scene, whatever. And then all those stories about men not crying because they're tough and all, Day is a real man. Because he was sobbing, he was crying when he was at his family's house. Oh my gosh, that was so heartwarming right there. And June saw everything, but she didn't say anything. She just left him the way he is, and it was just really heartwarming part right there. A place in this book that I really like is Antarctica, because it's like a real life video game in that world, and the technology is like so advanced. I so want to live there. I actually want to live there, which is really weird. But Antarctica in this book, like, they have like these chips installed like in their brain or something, and so like they see like numbers and like those holograms, video game holograms, like with numbers and points and everything. And every time you do something, you get a point, and the more points you get, the higher your rank is. I found that really, really cool, and like that'll be really, really cool to have in this world. Like, I would want to live in Antarctica. I want to live in Antarctica when it becomes all like that. The ending, oh my gosh, the ending, I hated it. Like, I like it, but I just hate it at the same time. It frustrated me so much. I seriously thought Day was gonna die. He didn't die, but he was in a coma for like 5 months. They got the brain thingy out, but he was in a coma for 5 months, and then, oh my gosh, he woke up from the coma, but he had amnesia. He had amnesia. He could not remember any like Commander Jensen, none of them, nothing of the war of the colonies. He didn't remember June. I was crying. I sobbed. I was sobbing so much in this book. I did not think this book would touch me the way it did, but it did. And I was just sobbing so much. And oh my gosh. I thought he was gonna die, and then he didn't die. He got shot a lot of times. He almost bled to death. He didn't, but he woke up from a coma. He couldn't remember June, and June was the first one to see him after he woke up. And instead of telling him who she is, what she did, everything that happened. She doesn't tell him. She says, I don't know you, I was just fought next to you in the war, something like that. And oh my gosh, I wanted to punch her in the face because I wanted her to tell him that they were supposed to be together, that what they were together, but she didn't, and I understand why, because she didn't want to feel him with all this pain that he already went through. So I understand. And then that's basically how it ended. And I thought it was gonna just end right there, and I was gonna be so mad. Then I turned the page, and it's like 10 years later, and I'm like, really? 10 years later? I'm like, 10 years later, they meet each other again, and oh my gosh, I was crying because they passed by each other in the street because they left to Antarctica because his brother. Then they came back to visit, and it was June's birthday, and then they passed by each other in the street. And Eden, he, of course, knew June, but June didn't want to like talk to them, and Eden didn't say anything, so they just passed by each other. But then they turned around, and he's like, "Do I know you?" And then June again, I wanted to punch her. She was like, "No, sorry, wrong person." And then he's like, "Oh, sorry." He's like, then he said like one of the sweetest things ever. He's all like, "I've been searching a long time for something I think I lost," and he's of course talking about her, but like they don't know. And then he's all like, "I felt like I found something when I saw you back there," and I'm like, "That was so cute." And then he finally starts to remember little teeny tiny things, like it's like a haze, you know. And he kind of remembers when June tells him Tess, and they're gonna all have dinner, and then he's like, "It's you," and then it was so cute, that part. And then at the end, they introduce themselves again, like, "I'm Daniel, I'm June." Oh my gosh, it was so cute, but it left me so frustrated. I hate the ending so much. I love it, I hate it. I'm just so frustrated about it. And so overall, amazing book. Mary Lou, amazing author. Like just amazing. She's amazing. Author. Like amazing. Mary Lou, amazing. I love her. I just can't wait to read her next series, The Young Elites. That's the first book, and then The Rose Society. I don't have them yet. I need to buy them. I'm so disappointed in myself, but I love this book. And so now I'm going to do the first and last line of this book. First one is Day, and he is, out of all the disguises I've worn, this one might be my favorite. That's Day. Last one is in June's point of view, and it's, "Hi," he says. "I'm Daniel." "Hi," I reply. "I'm June." And I don't like this ending, but I'm okay with it. I don't love it, I don't hate it, but I'm okay with it. So that's it for my Champion review. An amazing book. I love it. If you read this book, which you probably have if you're already all the way at the end of this video, comment down below what were your favorite parts of the books, which parts you liked, which parts you didn't like, and just tell me how you overall felt about this book and the series, because the series was amazing. So, Champion by Mary Lou. Read it if you haven't. And yeah, that's it for this video. So until next time, I'm Paloma, and this is Book Lover Paloma, where I just talk and rant about books because books are my life. And that's it. Bye.